It's because it got a lot of shit on the internet and with the critics, and they really did not like the movie. And I think I figured out why. It's because the movie was made almost as if it was a literal translation of comic book pages. Just straight to film. I really liked it. I enjoyed the visuals. Zack Snyder always needs to work on his story with most of his movies. They're very messy. Just the dialogue and stuff. I thought Affleck did pretty good with what he got. Anyways, okay. So the first thing I wrote down is the Martha moment. Which, again, we're gonna get into this. So, if you have not seen Batman vs. Superman, do not listen to this unless you want to be spoiled. Because I'm going to give my opinion on most of this movie. At least the parts I thought were the more controversial parts. Or the parts that I thought maybe we talk about. Okay, so one of the things I saw was the Martha moment that a lot of people had problems with. Well, I did. Obviously, it's between the Batman and Superman, and obvious connection you can tell is both characters' mothers are Marthas. Martha Wayne and Martha Kent. Reason why, which a lot of people, for some reason no one figured this out, at least from what I was reading online, and people had a lot of problems with it. The reason why Ben Affleck's Batman did not kill Superman in that instance is he realized he was no better than the villain who shot, the robber who shot his dad and mom in Crime Alley at that moment. And it stopped him from killing Superman. There's really nothing else other than that. And I don't understand how people could not figure that out. But, anyway. The next thing I had down was a lot of people had issues with his ideals in the movie. Things I saw that did not make sense in the universe, because two things Batman does not do is Batman does not kill and Batman does not use guns. In this movie, he did both. He killed and he used guns. I mean, sure, it's a break in his character from the comics, but it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the film. I don't know. I thought it was fine. A lot of people didn't. And that's fine too. I mean, people can enjoy whatever. I just don't think it should be a knock on the film. A lot of people think it should be. Next thing I want to kind of bring up is the tone of the film and how it's going to be different with Suicide Squad and Justice League and whatnot. And I really hope it sticks to the same tone that Zack Snyder put forward, because I really liked it. Obviously, I think it's different directors. But I think all in all, he put together quite. Right. understand what's going on. The other thing I kind of wanted to talk about with this is the DC universe versus the Marvel universe versus Fox. Because there's a lot of different, not a lot of differences between them all, but a lot of things that I enjoy more with the universes that Fox has put together versus the universe that Joss Whedon put together with the MCU, and even with what Zack Snyder's done. I mean, the way I see it, and the reason I think Fox has done the best job with the X-Men universe, and all of them, is the X universe, the characters are actually relatable. I mean, what you have is a group of individuals who are gifted for sure, but you can relate to all of them. All of them are outcasts and misfits in society, which there's a lot of people like that. I mean, a lot of the original comics talk to racism and segregation back in the 60s and 70s. And then you bring up the MCU, which with the MCU, the only character you can even relate to is Captain America, which to a lot of people actually fell flat. I really enjoyed the Captain America films, especially the first one, because I like the period pieces like that. But he's the only relatable one. He was just a kid from the Bronx, a kid from New York, who grew up, raised right. He lost both of his parents and was left alone with one of his best friend, Bucky Barnes. And he was given a magic elixir that turned him into the ultimate soldier. Granted, the last part really isn't something you can relate to. But no one's going to be a billionaire like Tony Stark. You know, no one's going to be raised like the Black Widow. You know, people were raised like that, but no one could ever imagine themselves wanting to go through that. And then you bring up the DC universe, which actually is completely different. It's a different type of universe. To me, it's more of a true comic book universe. Unlike how Joss Whedon put together the MCU. I mean, and then you go into other things like characterizations of the people in them, like the MCU. The villains in the MCU, other than Loki, really are horrible. All of the villains. You go into Fox. Fox's villains with the X universe have pretty much universally been Magneto and Stryker. Granted, Stryker is not the best of villains. Magneto, however, is, and he's more than made up for it, especially with how Fassbender's portrayed him in First Class and Days of Future Past. And then you get into Batman vs. Superman, which, granted, I'll give you Lex Luthor was kind of goofy, and I'm not too sure how much I even really like that version of Lex Luthor. But he was definitely had more character than almost all of the MCU villains, again, save for Loki. But yeah, when Crazy gets back and me and him stream again, we'll discuss more in depth, and once he's actually gone to see Batman vs. Superman, because I don't think he's seen it yet, we'll talk about it more. But until then, we will talk to you then. Everybody have a good day.